Oh yes, my Straight Talk family, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. And then it's time for me to bid you a very pleasant night wherever you are in the world, because we are on the World Wide Web, but in particular to those in St. Kitts and Nevis and throughout the entire Caribbean region. And I can say good afternoon, I can say good morning, I can say good evening, because one of such greetings will be applicable to some one of the regions in which you now find yourselves. Perhaps in Asia, perhaps you are in Europe, perhaps you are in Africa. And I know for sure there are quite a lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night, good morning, and or good afternoon. But let me say greetings to all of you, wherever you are, my Straight Dog family. All of you, I say greetings and welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. And for those who may be joining me for the first time, may I inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express ourselves freely. And I underline, express ourselves freely. And on this program, my Straight Talk family, we lean on the facts. We try to raise the level of national discourse as well by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on another occasion. And I must remind you as well, my Straight Talk family, that as your host, I pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I always am reminded by the words of a favorite hymn of mine written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn, and it goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and the right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light, my Straight Dog family. And we seek the courage needed, let us seek the courage needed, I should say, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know, I should say, the blessing of doing of God's will, my Straight Dog family. And I want to assure you as well that absolutely nothing is watered down on this, your program, neither by omission nor exaggeration. We are not about sensationalism or creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy, because as I said before, we lean on the facts, as I consider it my duty to always present the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance in St. Kitts and Nevis. And this program joins us together with people all across our federation. We are joined with people in the diaspora all around the world. Some we know, and we know very well, and some we have met. Some we will never know and may never meet. But some we will agree, and with some we will disagree. Well, that's what the program is all about. It's about diversity. We have different people. But please, don't sadden me and start to get what I call disagreeable. So let us thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand, oh, how pleasant, oh, how good and how pleasant it is, I should say, for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us hope and pray for the day when we will all sing praise together. So welcome again, my Straight Talk family, and thank those who continue to share the link. You bring first-timers, and just for the first-timers, to let them know that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls and your emails. If you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your monitors, on your screens, and you can see them there, 663-6672 and or 646-829-6672. There are those who like the cloak of anonymity, I call it. We give you access by that email platform. That's their Straight Talk Patches at gmail.com. Let me say a special welcome to my junior brigade. I always have to. Dwayne, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin, Rue, Travis, Travon, Jamal, and all the young generation that keep abreast with Straight Talk. On a solid note, I must hail a lady in St. Louis, special lady. On a solemn note, I was going to say, I heard of the passing of Josie Fleming of Ponds Pasture, and I want to extend condolences to her family, her children, her sisters, and her entire family of brothers as well. And she's gone to the great beyond, and our hearts are with the family. And all those who have lost loved ones, as a matter of fact, I should say, condolences. And just to remind you that death is a process, my Straight Talk family. Death is a process. And as Jimmy Cliff said, who feels it knows it. So what I want to say to you, as I said, death is a process. And for our first-timers, may I inform you that for each show we consider our observations in review, after which a short thesis or dissertation is presented. And the title of my thesis or short dissertation tonight is No Amnesty for the Gang in Government. No amnesty for this gang, I should say, in government. And our observations in view are integral, and quite a few I like to just dispense quickly of. It's a time when we do some reflection, when we ask a few questions and we reflect on what was accomplished, how it has helped others, what has changed since, and what can be expected next, what we have learned as a people, very important as well, my Straight Talk family. We are still following that story over there in Nevis with the Bank of Nevis International Limited. And we wonder why the Minister of Finance in Nevis is so quiet. We wonder why these doors are still open when there's so many claims against this institution. Fraud. People can't get their millions of dollars deposited in this institution. The CEO, Mr. Press, is somewhere on the loose. We wonder why Interpol can't find this man. But claims and claims are piling up against this institution, and how these doors are still open, only heaven knows. The FSRC in Nevis is quiet. Here in St. Kitts, it's equally as quiet. The Minister of Finance and Prime Minister in St. Kitts is mum's quiet as well. And so too is the Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin. Are they going to wait until our country is blacklisted? Something has to be done. We are calling on the authorities to do something about this institution from which people can get their money. We are also following the story with the fraudster and obviously friend of the Premier and snake, Mark Brantley. He was the one who, under his watch, he got to Nevis after being deported from Barbados. And we wonder, what are the secrets? The Ocean Terrace in The MSR Hotel, as it was renamed, is still closed as we speak. Some 75 or 125 rooms, I can't even remember the numbers, have been taken out of the hotel stock. And we wonder, why are these people allowed to be selling our passports? How could Philippe Martinez, a convicted fraudster, be the face of our CBI program? And these are the issues that we raise. The other issue we want to raise as well is about water. We saw that song and dance and the red trophies being received on the weekend. And the people all around the country are suffering from this water shortage. Just recently we saw a notice out of water problems in terms of the pressure and interruption spanning from Buckley's all the way down to New Guinea and Sandy Point. And we can't forget the people in St. Peter's. We can't forget as well that Bede has not commissioned or rectified that well at Shadwell 2, which would assist greatly the people in the St. Peter's area. So these are issues that are before us, and we are asking the soca engineer to do something. Do something, soca engineer, about these issues. And we are following them. We are not going to allow them to get away.
We love
I Straight Talk family. We're not going to allow them to get away. Not at all. I Straight Talk family. We're not going to allow them to get away. And my Straight Talk family, I want to move into my thesis for tonight, because those are my observations in review, and I will move right into my thesis for tonight, which I have titled, as mentioned earlier, No Amnesty for This Gang in Government. And elections have consequences is a statement that we have become familiar with. And many of us continue to learn that lesson following the premature election here in St. Kitts Nevis in August 2022. A gang of self-proclaimed experts took control of government. And we thought we got a prime minister. But lo and behold, nigh 22 months after, 22 months thereafter, we are now finding out that we got instead a crime. Yes, a crime minister. And the questions keep piling up, my Straight Dog family. The questions keep piling up. Why? All of a sudden, now under Labour, we have all these shootings, or the shootings have all started up again under this Labour administration. We ask ourselves the questions, or someone asks this question, as a matter of fact, my Straight Dog family. Someone asks this question, Malcolm.
You know what is disturbing? You know what is disturbing? I hate to say it, but why all of a sudden, now under Labour, this shooting thing start up again? The peace is still on. The peace is still on, so what is causing this? That's a question only those involved can answer.
So what's causing this flare-up in shootings all of a sudden, my Straight Dog family? And this Prime Minister held the Bible in his right hand, my Straight Talk family, and swore. He swore to Almighty God that he will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of St. Kitts and Nevis and the law. He swore with the Bible in his right hand that he will conscientiously, impartially, and to the best of his ability discharge his duties as Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and do right to all manner of people without fear or favor, affection or ill will. He said, so help me God. He said this, my Straight Talk family. Yes, with the Bible in his hand, he said this.
The oath of office. I, Dr. Terence Michael Drew.
I, Dr. Terence Michael Drew.
Do swear.
Do swear.
That I will honor.
That I will honor.
Uphold and preserve.
Uphold and preserve.
The Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis.
The Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis.
And the law.
And the law.
That I will conscientiously.
That I will conscientiously.
Impartially.
Impartially.
And to the best of my ability.
And to the best of my ability.
Discharge my duties.
Discharge my duties.
As Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis.
As Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis.
And do right to all manner of people.
And do right to all manner of people.
Without fear or favor.
Without fear or favor.
Affection or ill will.
Affection or ill will.
So help me God.
So help me God.
But did we hear affection or ill will, my Straight Talk family? Yes, we did. He also spoke more recently about an all of society approach in order to fight this crime. But he said that. But on the other hand, he said this, my Straight Talk family. He cannot negotiate, I take back that, my Straight Talk family, with this man.
Timothy Harris was in the Labour Party. This is somebody who would be very difficult to sit down with to negotiate. And I know I cannot sit to negotiate with. That is my position when it comes to that.
Yes, he said it.
Timothy Harris was in the Labour Party. This is somebody who would be very difficult to sit down with to negotiate. And I know I cannot sit to negotiate with. That is my position when it comes to that.
Cannot negotiate with Timothy Harris, carrying this deep-seated hate for a man who served in the office he by default has found himself in at this time. But I read an article, my Street Dog family, about Harry S. Truman, who assumed the presidency of the United States of America in the final months of World War II. Truman inherited a worldwide catastrophe, but Truman shouldered the burden of leadership in a rudderless world, it was called at the time, with courage, integrity, and humility. He vindicated the American conviction that an open society can produce leaders equal to any challenge. Here in St. Kitts Nevis, after 2 years of a coronavirus-induced pandemic, beg your pardon, there is still a deep division in our federation, and the main culprits are the Prime Minister and his cabinet, a gang of self-declared experts that came into government with a dismantle everything policy, it seems. They started to dismantle the Poverty Alleviation Program, PAP, by Street Dog family, claiming that it needed to be modified. Remember, he said this, my Street Dog family. He needs to modify the Poverty Alleviation Program.
Last time we spoke about the PAP.
Yes.
how much of a priority is that for you? Because I know that you said it needs to be reformed. Both
Right.
need to be
So
reformed.
the PAP needs to be reformed. We have found a number of abuses on the PAP. For example, people who qualified couldn't get on, and people who don't qualify are on, and that needs to be adjusted. And we have already started the work with that.
He started the work. But how did he adjust it, my Straight Talk family? First of all, he delegated the slow student, Jeffrey Hanley. And Hanley reported this.
When the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party won the general elections on August 5th, 2022, there were 7,469 payees receiving either regular PAP or PAP as expanded for COVID. The monetary value for each was $3,480,000, payable to 6,960 regular PAP beneficiaries and $254,500 to PAP as expanded for COVID, 509 beneficiaries. This totaled a grand payout of $3,734,500.
And my Straight Talk family, all on PAP had to reapply by December 16, 2022, or risk being kicked off by December 31st of that said year, my Straight Talk family. He said the PAP ended in December.
I use this opportunity to indicate that all eligible existing recipients of the Poverty Alleviation Program PAP are mandated to reapply by completing the application form by December 16, 2022. Failure to do so would mean that your payment will cease effective December 2022. I wish to notify the general public that the mending of the PAP will commence from January 2023.
My Straight Talk family, January 2023. Come January 2023, over a year ago, the slow student Jeffrey Hanley reported that there were 12,000 applications received by the ministry.
We had close to 1,200 applications, 12,000 applications for the PAP initiative. The Ministry of Social Development, the entire team is doing the verification process right now, checking with all of the agencies, including Social Security, making sure that the Social Security numbers are correct, the information that persons shared are accurate. We are hoping that we can restart by the end of this month after certain verification would have taken place, of course.
But who would believe, my Straight Talk family, that a party born out of representation for the poor and downtrodden, sugar workers, who would believe that a Labour government, my Straight Talk family, would do this?
We paid 5,361 households are receiving PAP at this time. Remember, when we closed applications in December, 11,639 applied. Of that number, 8,985 were eligible. All right? And so that now, if you take 5,361 from that number, it's over 60% of the applications are being paid. I know for some persons being in the 40%, to them it's unfair.
But my Straight Talk family, being in the 40% is not unfair. it is criminal to sentence poor people back into poverty. And this junior minister, my straight dog family, that was the permanent secretary in the ministry. But this junior minister, Isden Philip, who I said before seemed to have been baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the IMF, presented this flimsy excuse to a dog family. She said this.
And I actually want us to recognize that the advice we have gotten, particularly from IMF reports, is that we actually need to streamline our social services. And so the truth is, as we look at, especially in social development right now, what we're really trying to do is, as we deliver programs that we know we have had for quite some time with flagship programs, as we look at restructuring current programs, what we're really trying to do is also go through a research and data collection exercise where we can actually assess and get an idea and evaluate what the needs are of people who are most vulnerable. But it's not, the thinking is not about expanding social services so that we just increase our social assistance budget, because that is in fact not sustainable. And so we understand, of course, that people need assistance immediately, and we really try to service people who are most vulnerable. And so we also want to be able to apply conditions so that when we ask questions like, how are you using the PAP money? We're not trying to be invasive. We're just really trying to understand if it is that you're using this $500 to pay your lights, if you're needing the money to pay for food.
And we can only say, my straight dog family, how nonsensical, how heartless. Thousands of people were left out by July. And there is an economic stench. There's a smell like sulfur in the air. I remember as young boys when we were driving across Brimston Hill, you smell that sulfur in the air. And right now there's a smell like sulfur in the air. It is blowing in on the wind. It is becoming overwhelming. It smells so bad enough that it makes you stop and think, what is that? What is that, you ask? It is the economy, my straight dog family, and it smells stink. The economy smells stink because the Prime Minister abandoned a shovel-ready project. My straight dog family. He abandoned a shovel-ready project in the new Bastia High School and had to be reminded of this silly action he took.
There was a shovel-ready project, which is the Bastia High School. The project had already, the plans had already been drawn. The impact studies had already done. But you choose to shelf it. Today, the ordinary man, construction workers, instead of having the tools rusting, could have been there working. People could have been earning money at the Bastia High School. And why it was shut down? Because of politics. It had nothing to do with water, the water situation. So we got to be careful. It's politics why the country is stagnant. As a matter of fact, since the change of government, I am involved in construction. I haven't worked for the year. The country is stagnant, actually maybe in reverse. It ain't got nothing to do with the farm administration. It is, I think, it's because of incompetence why we are facing the situation that we are facing.
Incompetence, my street dog family. And the people are hurting. Imagine the construction industry, as that caller said, that contractor said, stagnant. The construction industry plays a significant role in any economy as it contributes to the overall development and economic growth of a nation. It serves as a major pillar of the economy, generating employment opportunities for both educated and uneducated individuals, regardless of their skills level. Construction infrastructure is considered a powerful engine of economic growth and development, as it serves as a capital input into production and wealth generation. The construction industry has a direct impact on the social and economic development of a country, as it creates investment opportunities in related sectors and contributes to achieving national, social, and economic goals. My Street Dog family, effective management of the construction sector can only lead to improved quality of life, a sustainable environment, and job creation, thereby promoting economic growth. But my Street Dog family, as we reflect, the greatest unifier in this country since adult suffrage in 1952 was the success of the United Group that came together in 2019. And this was not determined by the parties. In fact, it was determined by the people. And this was one of the issues that was reflected in one of the two polls conducted in 2012, my Street Dog family. This was reflected in one of the polls.
One of the issues we looked at was how people felt about a group of politicians who might become united. What was clear from the outset was that there was a notion that unity was important to contest an election against the incumbent. But what is important is that regardless of where they come from, whether it's CCM or Labour or New Labour or whatever the key point is, you can call it what you will. What came out was that there was a feeling that a united group would be important. And I make the point united group rather than a unity party would be important to oppose the incumbent.
And that united group is still important, my Street Dog family. Because after that united group came together, the rest is history. As this united group consisting of the People's Action Movement, the Concerned Citizens Movement, and the People's Labour Party, later called Team Unity, came together and dislodged the now 20-year-old Douglas Labour Party in 2015. The country enjoyed public infrastructure development. The Island Main Road resurfaced. The Old Road Bay rectified. Traffic lights installed. Remember when they said that the car's gonna boot up? A brand new ferry terminal. East and West bus terminals. And I want to state tonight that it is about time they sort out and put some order into that East bus terminal, my Street Dog family. It can be rectified and ought to be rectified. Resurfacing of the entire Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw International Airport runway, 8,000 feet of runway, along with brand new solar runway lighting were installed. And reparation to the 3 taxiways, Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. And we cannot forget, my Street Dog family, the construction of an $130 million cruise pier, one of only 3 in the Caribbean that can accommodate the world's largest ship, and did so a few months ago, my Street Dog family. The icon of the seas accommodated at the 2nd cruise pier. Remember, my Straight Talk family, while in opposition, this political gang of experts ridiculed the project, which has stimulated economic benefits for the grassroots economy, the taxi drivers, the hair braiders, the restaurants, the primate, we call the monkey vendors, my Straight Dog family. Benefits for local people and businesses, unheard of before in this country, my Straight Dog family. This political gang now in government is benefiting from the second cruise pay. The while in opposition, the peddle propaganda. Remember? The pay spoil. And it went on and on. But the people who matter, like the cruise line operators and the cruise ship captains that use the second cruise pay, have nothing but glowing reviews of this legacy, my Straight Dog family. Nothing but glowing reviews.
So you're the captain of the which Celebrity Summit. Celebrity Summit. Now your ship is one of two ships that are the first to dock at our second cruise pier. How do you feel coming to St. Kitts to such a warm welcome?
It is very nice. The new pier is very wide and it is much better actually than the previous one. And it's a very nice construction, and for us from the marine side of you have enough fenders, enough bollards, nice and safe, with much better angle against the wind also. So congratulations, this is amazing.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Much better orientation than the other also. Because on the other you get the wind right from the beam. Here you have a nice angle, nice approach. And by the way, I would like to thank the pilots. They are very friendly and they help us a lot with their guidance when we approach. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. We look forward to see you.
Thank you.
What time?
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And my Straight Dog family, it is still clear to all of us that a united group is very important and quite necessary. How it's going to be done, it's anybody's guess, my Straight Dog family. But it is necessary. Meanwhile, the economy, inflation, crime, and a hopeless people who cannot put food on their table, cannot buy gasoline or pay their rent. And if you have a daughter or a son, and you don't feed him or her, what do you think your daughter or your son would do? St. Kitts Nevis people have common sense. And they understand what is gangsterism. They understand that some of them get involved in illegal activities, organized criminal activities. But what would they do? Options such as prostitution, robbing, and killing are what they would be attracted to. Crime, my Straight Dog family, crime is the burdensome issue on our minds every day. They promised a change in leadership in the police force and a twist of how things would be done. Whatever that meant, my Straight Dog family, he said this.
Expected a recent increase in that short period of crime, that is not really a trend, that the forces are really putting things together. But we'll see a change in the leadership of the police with a different twist, positively, of how we wish to do things.
A change in the leadership of the police with a different twist, he said, of how things will be done. But my Straight Talk family, there was not only a twist, but a turn upside down in the entire security landscape 13 murders for 2024, 31 in 2023. And under the watch of the crime minister, under Terence Michael July, 52 murders, my Straight Dog family. We're not gloating. We are just telling you the facts. Those are the facts, my Straight Dog family. Why do you want us to sweep it or sweep them under the carpet? So how does it deal with this runaway crime train? Friday, 10th May, the Prime Minister tabled the Firearms Amendment Bill 2024 in Parliament, which once gazetted, my Straight Dog family, once gazetted, will become law in St. Kitts and Nevis. And in his political brinksmanship style, boastful, my Straight Dog family, 40 years, he recommends, and $500 million, $500,000, yes, that's $500 million, yes, my Straight Dog family, for the young boys in the country who have definitely gone astray. Our current educational system has failed them. And my Straight Dog family, as I conclude my thesis tonight, I find myself in a mood of reflection. After listening to the Prime Minister's wrap-up of the Firearms Amendment Bill 2024, my Straight Dog family. For the first time this morning, I listened to it this morning. I listened after rolling onto my knees when I woke and thanking God for the night and for the present morning light, something I do as long as I have life in my body. I thank the Lord for my good health, for strength, wisdom, and understanding. But most of all, I thank God for blessing me with life. And I ask myself, and I'm going to be honest with you, as always, I ask myself, why do I have to come to Straight Talk tonight? I ask myself that question, not for the first time. I ask myself, why do I have to expose the criminality of those who currently mislead us as a country? Yet the people remain docile. The people are so easily influenced. The people are so easily persuaded by this gang that we call it a government. I looked to the harbor, my Straight Dog family, and saw this car carrier coming alongside the deep water cargo pier. And I asked myself, how is it that this vessel is calling at St. Kitts with such frequency? When people don't have jobs, people can't buy food, people can't pay their rent, then how on earth can they buy cars? But this car carrier is arriving at this port with much frequency. Then I ask myself, is this one of the vessels that bring all these guns to my country? That's a question I ask myself. But the words of Prime Minister July, my Straight Dog family, echoed in my head. And I asked myself, why is the church and its leaders so quiet when they are called criminals? One of their own, or two of their own, are called criminals by the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security. The Prime Minister said that the peace program was a criminal enterprise, my Straight Dog family. The Prime Minister said this, my Straight Dog family.
So we launched the Elevate program because on the corrupt criminal enterprise called the peace program was a criminal enterprise endorsed, sponsored by the administration led by the member from number 7. The peace program was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state. You had what you call a management review board and an initial engagement team come talking about peace program. This was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state, Madam Speaker.
My Straight Dog family, did you hear that? I want you to hear it again, my Straight Dog family.
So we launched the Elevate program because on the corrupt criminal enterprise called the peace program was a criminal enterprise endorsed, sponsored by the administration led by the member from number 7. The peace program was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state. You had what you call a management review board and an initial engagement team come talking about peace program. This was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state, Madam Speaker.
And when I heard that, my Straight Dog family, I asked myself, why is the church and its leaders so quiet? And I said, my Straight Dog family, Satan, get behind me. And I have come to tell you tonight that the peace program, as he rightly said, was managed by 2 committees. One on St. Kitts and one on Nevis. Amongst other professionals, the management committees comprised of 2 well-known pastors, my Straight Dog family, 2 well-known pastors who were paid a monthly stipend. Pastor Eric Maynard Jr. in Nevis and Pastor Lincoln Connor of the Antioch Baptist Church in St. Kitts. I don't know Pastor Maynard, but I know Pastor Lincoln Connor well enough to know that he is not a criminal. So I ask myself, why is Pastor Lincoln Connor allowing the Prime Minister July to tarnish his name and character when he had done a good job over the years? Not for the money, I'm sure, but for the betterment of some young men in particular who went astray. So it is time for you, Pastor Lincoln Connor, to stand up and publicly rebuke Prime Minister July and let the country know if you, Pastor Connor, was part of the peace program. And if so, you ought to disapprove the irresponsible behavior of Prime Minister July. When he said this, again, I repeat it, my Straight Dog family.
So we launched the Elevate program because on the corrupt criminal enterprise called the peace program was a criminal enterprise endorsed, sponsored by the administration led by the member from number 7. The peace program was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state. You had what you call a management review board and an initial engagement team come talking about peace program. This was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state, Madam Speaker.
So I ask you, my friend, I hope I'm still your friend, Pastor Connor. Were you part of that program, or were you part of a criminal enterprise? If not, you must rebuke the Prime Minister. I urge you. Finally, my Straight Dog family. And until we hear from Pastor Connor, if we ever do, Straight Talk places on record that it supports the Amnesty program, just as we did 5 years ago. I'm not going to question the timing. That's another issue. But 5 years ago, in 2019, Team Unity introduced an amnesty program. How many of us recall this? My Straight Talk.
Young personnel and what's not. I don't want to say disadvantage of yes. Then we got another Beretta pistol, which is like a collector's item for most people because of the weight that it carries. We wouldn't really want to move around much with it. But for the caliber, military persons will grasp towards it because of the caliber.
And yes, my Straight Dog family, 2019. But harsh and inhumane laws like the Firearms Amendment Bill 2024 is nothing but political brinksmanship and a dangerous policy that won't improve our safety and security. Since this bill was rammed through the Parliament 4 or 5 days ago, my Straight Dog family. Yes, it was rammed through the Parliament 4 or 5 days ago, my Straight Dog family. We had a first, second, and third reading, my Straight Dog family. And it all went hastily, rushed to the Parliament, my Straight Dog family. Yes, Speaker Blanchett said this.
The security, members of the security forces and so forth, and others who participated actively in bringing this legislation forward. I want to say thanks to all of them. May it please you, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you to the Honourable Member for St. Christopher 8, the mover of the bill. Question is that the bill shortly entitled Firearms Amendment Bill 2024 be read a second time. Those in favour? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
And it was read again, my Straight Dog family.
A bill to amend the Firearms Act, Cap 19.05, and for matters connected therewith, otherwise known as the Firearms Amendment Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Firearms Amendment Bill 2024 has been read for a second time. House moves into committee stage.
To lead a program that has the opportunity for true rehabilitation, the reincorporation of our commitment at the election of the director, to go through that process where a former ACP said what a lot of those resources were used for better ammunition and better weapons, Madam Speaker. It is sad that those who lead the explorers, the officers, mentioned that children in primary school were looking to, I hope I'm being heard? Yes. Okay. Were looking to be a part of the peace program because they hear you don't have to work and you get money.
My Straight Dog family, after that bill was rammed through the Parliament, as I was saying, 4 or 5 days ago, five people have been attacked with guns. 3 shot on Friday. Balang robbed the following day. my Straight Dog family. I trust my good friend Balang has recovered. Just on Wednesday, another man shot my Straight Dog family. And believe it or not, another man shot today my Straight Dog family. They promised to make things better, my Straight Dog family. But nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed except the name of the program. Payment was not stopped, but they stopped the farming. They stopped those who were gainfully employed in construction, who had car rental businesses. So now 450 persons or more are sitting around idle. July has a 24-man security detail, but he has to be careful, especially when he continues to play politics with crime. Crime, violence, and the safety of our people must transcend politics. My Straight Dog family must transcend politics. Prime Minister Joe. Remember, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Comrade Ralph was brought down with a projectile, not a gun, firearm, my Straight Dog family, with a projectile, we call them.
Of the person who threw the object at me, the projectile, that it hit me in my head, at the top of the head. It could easily have come, as the doctors tell me, lower down to the temple, and where there could have been immediately far more serious damage.
Dr. Gonzalez said he will be monitored over the next 4 to 6 weeks to ensure there is no bleeding in the brain. He said the matter is not being taken lightly.
When you throw a stone or some other projectile at someone with the intention to hit them in their head, and given the delicate nature of one's head, you have in mind the intention to kill. You have the intention to cause serious bodily harm.
My Straight Dog family, thousands of miles over yonder, a prime minister in Slovenia was shot this morning. As I said, a man was shot in Buckley's. But Perspective Media, my Straight Dog family, sums it up well, so well, for the gang of self-proclaimed experts, my Straight Dog family. Listen to this carefully.
The politician them direct need to step in and do something, because I could remember they bash the peace, like the campaign and the peace. I won't even use the word bash, but the campaign and the peace said they're gonna make it better. You understand? But nobody may know about nobody, but we ain't see nothing happening. You feel what I'm saying? We ain't see nothing at all happening.
So you feel like the peace program was basically a good solution towards the problem?
Most definitely. And anybody in saying could say otherwise, why? I don't know.
But what about those who would say the peace program gives some people an opportunity to sit down, do nothing and get paid?
And we gotta say to them, it's alright to say something. You know what I mean? It's alright to say something, but when you're gonna see a positive movement, if you ain't got nothing positive to add to that movement, you might as well just stay quiet, you feel me? Yeah, and that's all I will say.
What a way to sum it up. That video provided by Perspective Media. But July, as a leader, prefers to facilitate the institutional criminals. And because of this, we state categorically that there can be no amnesty for this gang in government. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I'm not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. I always like to implore you when I do so, which I'll do momentarily. Implore you to respect others, and of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us
responsibility for their actions. The losers are those who blame others for their failures. I repeat, the winners are those who learn to take full responsibility for their actions. The losers are those who blame others for their failures. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening, my dear. Always thank you for your quotations. Winners are those who take full responsibility for the actions, and losers, those who blame others for their failures. Did I get that right? Caller, you alive?
Patel,
Yes, my dear brother. How art thou?
I catch you till now.
How you catch me now? You come in second, man.
Catch you.
You come, you batting second. You're always batting first. Doesn't matter though. I like your spiritual intervention. How is the Bible man tonight?
Yeah, the Bible man. Yeah, Psalm 37, Patel.
Fret not? Is that?
Fret not yourself,
Yes,
Patel.
fret not thyself, yes. Because of
Yeah.
evildoers.
Well. You really want to cut off on me, but I catch somebody. You will see you, Patel. Fire. But this is a clever man, you know.
Let's see this, Sam. Let's see this, Sam. The line is ringing. Let's see it, Sam. Let's see it.
Because of evildoers.
Uh-huh.
Neither we envious against the work of iniquity.
Iniquity, yes.
For the soon called cut down like a ground. And as a green herb. Trust also in the Lord. And do good. And thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give you desire of your heart. Commit your ways unto the Lord, and trust all in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Now, I am not fretting. You see, Mr. Patches, you got a man come and you stay on it, and at 12 minutes my man take last week, you know. But I can see how much you take this time. See you, I ain't gonna bother. I ain't gonna follow a multitude and do evil. So see you, bye.
Okay, my brother. Have yourself a good night, my dear brother. Let's go back to the lines. It's now 13 past the 9 o'clock hour. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Patches.
My lord.
This is the major. This is the major.
How is the major tonight? How is the major tonight?
A test in your brain is a test in your brain.
Uh-huh.
Is a next question. I want to ask you a question because you're supposed to be a powerhouse. A new young man. Who they call it, sir? Like me.
New young man for sure. You're the powerhouse.
Yeah. Yeah. What I want to find out from you. I've been listening. I was laying down on my bed, but something just come to my mind, boy. And I said I should answer this question. What is truth? What is truth? What is truth?
I always consider your questions as rhetorical questions, you know. So
well, wait, carry on.
Yes.
You see, because what I say, what I know about truth, is that truth that it has the agenda. It has the agenda for human beings for a very long time. That the beginning, that started from the beginning of human people, right? Human, me and you. And but what I find happens is that that's why I ask what is truth, because the idea is that somewhere along the line, you find that lies becomes a printed matter. And people, everybody agree that they get so accustomed to that now. That lies that they're no longer worrying about truth. They're not interested about truth anymore. You realize that?
Repeat a lie a certain, there's a term used, repeat a lie a certain amount of times becomes truth.
Okay. But you see, yeah, carry on.
No, you go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
You see, what I am saying, that I ask here about truth, you see, but the idea that I am saying here, and it got me confused because truth is a question that so many people ask about it. Because belongs, that is since in the human history. And because of that, because it is in human history, you find that some people, people ain't busting brains about truth now, They're not interested in truth anymore. What they is interested in, they get so accustomed to that fact that they consider that they believe in lies more than truth. Because they figure that it is supposed to be a printed matter. It's a printed matter, they say it is.
Well, truth
you understand that?
Yeah, but truth is all about honesty, though, honesty. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but you see, but people, we people look like they're not getting accustomed to it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, they're not getting accustomed to it.
Okay, got you.
They're not
Got you, my brother.
And because that, I consider it is a piece that seems to me like it becomes an absolute standard. Yeah? Maybe because you see all these things that they love in Italy, So now they started coming back to me now like a bullet. So I started referring it back to you, just to you say, because you're a traveling man. I've been in true meaning, so I say, and I learn a lot there. Okay. So therefore, now that I learn in my bed or something, this thing just come to me and we have to test one another faculties, right?
That's correct. Yes. Well, each one teach one. Each one teach one.
Yes. And you asked out of the soil.
Say again?
You are a son of the soil.
Oh, certainly, a son of the soil. So too are you.
You're not single in that respect. I am as well.
Yes, you have served your country well, my dear brother.
Yeah.
Fallout, Major, fallout.
Okay.
That's always good to hear, though. Always good to hear.
Yeah.
That's Major Jones. It always comes with, I say this in a good way, always comes with the abstract, I call him sometimes, makes you, make you think, make you use your mind, But it is time, though, really, as you said, truth, to talk truth to power, We've heard a word being used most recently, very often. It just slipped me, but there's time for the public to muster the courage to stand up and talk the truth, speak the truth, and challenge this ganging government, these so-called politicians who I say are behaving like institutional criminals, my Straight Dog family. And you tell me what you think. Why do we have so much crime on the labor? That's another question. It's a pertinent question. It's a fair question. Is it because of the revamping of the VAT or the peace program, the alternative lifestyle program? What have they changed except the name? And if July is honest, he must come to the country and tell the country how much money is being spent on the peace program. The things are still going the same, I understand. The money comes from the Treasury, lodged into the Development Bank. but how much of that money is spent monthly on the peace program? Prime Minister Drew, be a man, be transparent as you promise, and tell us what is the budget, the monthly budget, and how much money have you spent to date on the peace or the Elevate program, you call it. Same thing. But my Straight Talk family, it's 20 past 9 o'clock. You may have just joined me. We looked at our thesis for tonight. No amnesty for this gang in government. And I was chastised by one of my Straight Talk family members, and rightly so, I may add, because I overlooked the emails. And this Straight Talk family member said he wrote to me an email which I did not recall reading, and I have not even seen that email, because he said I promised I was going to read it tonight, but I haven't even seen that. Now I open my emails. Labour campaign and say no child should be left behind as a single mother of. No child should be left behind, reads this email. As a single mother of two, I went to the Ministry of Education to ask for assistance to get my 3-year-old in school. Up to date, no response. I was told to go and talk to the school. Don't the Minister of Education have a say? I went as far and told them I'm not working at this time. Nobody studied me. I was born here. My neighbor's string berry here. And if I'm getting this treatment, sorry for all other Kititians going through this as well. All while other countries are personally living here, enjoying recent kits, while Kititians catching hell. It shows how much they care. It really is better with Labour. Reads this email. This other email reads, last Monday on Straight Talk, someone sent an email referring to a statement Douglas made in the National Assembly, saying that anyone who opposes the Firearms Amendment Act has bad mind. Well, I don't really take on some of the stupid things Douglas occasionally utters. However, my concern is what the member for Nevis 11, Alexis Jeffers, said. He sarcastically said in his presentation that he personally does not have a bad mind joining with Douglas to mock Timothy Harris in the House. I want to say to Alexis Jeffers, sir, you forget that you were one of the most vociferous voices in this parliament and in the Nevis House of Assembly at CCM public meetings, calling Douglas all kind of derogatory names, that he is a nasty, bad-minded man. He bounced the NIA government check, preventing civil servants in Nevis from getting pay, and to cause embarrassment to the Nevis Island administration. You did not stop the Alexis. You harassed and cursed your opponent, Patrice Nisbet, telling us divisions not to vote for him because he is in bed with Douglas, a man who hates Nevis to the core. Now, Mr. Jeffers, are you not ashamed to push Patrice out of the bed with Douglas and you jump in the said bed with Douglas, propagating Douglas' foolish utterances? No wonder they kicked you out of office and replaced you with the NRP leader. I hope they will continue to reject you in constituency number 11 for your hypocrisy and deceitfulness. And remember, is Timothy Harris made you? What are you today? Reads that email. Let's go to the lines at 9:24. Caller, are you there, caller? It's 9:24. Hello, caller.
Yeah. Good night, Patches.
How are you, my brother? How about thou?
Dog is great without pigeon.
That one pigeon, yeah, that one pigeon. Remember that was a song, right?
Yeah, man.
I forgot that song. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you see, thou were taking an ear cool.
Okay.
And you smart pigeon. Let me go here, Patrick. Let me start with the first headline. When that lion boy from Monkey Hill was only the leader of the party, a very educated, respected, senior citizen lady called in to a program that he was on another radio station. And all the time the crime done started flying in the air like feathers out of a pillow. And that lady, who is an educator, a retired, she said to him like this, she asked him, why don't you sit down with Prime Minister Harris and get some advice from him? And these were his words, true words. I don't want to have nothing to do with Timothy Harris. Nothing to do with him. No, the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. In the politics, Joe is a child to Dr. Harris, and if he as a child will refuse to be taught from experience how to go about dealing with the situation in the country, and say that, what do we expect from the children, the younger ones, and those who are not in government yet? What do we expect them to do but disrespect him? But you see, he now come talking about, you played the clip earlier about Dr. Harris and them, why they don't come sit down. Those are my words, but you know what the words are. He forget what he said. He forget what he said. You know the reason why he forget what he said? Because he has no intention of trying to save the lives of innocent people who are getting pat out pow every 2 weeks or every week. He has no intention of saving them. Because when you join the club across Taylor's Range, you know they had a club, an organization across the patches, where you go up there, get married, and you can carry your wife, you alone go up there and they put on a big ring on your finger.
No,
you got no idea what that be?
No,
when they say you go in there, go ahead, some kind of ram goat got to boot you.
Oh, okay. The lodge?
Oh, yes, man.
The lodge, okay, the lodge, yeah.
Yeah, not the lodge where you live.
Yeah, okay, got you.
So when you married up there, you have to sacrifice blood. And culture said, if you fight against the youth them of today, man, blood will run. Where he's fighting against them, because he's not looking out for them. Not every time he leaves this country here, somebody gets shot. God forbid these things will happen. And Mr. One-sided record, I wouldn't even waste time on it. But our melody that we had looked like a prince to this melody that we got here. Good night, Mr. Straight Talk and Nabo and Shabaranks and all them who listening to this program. And the first lady who opened the batting tonight, good night and you come out. Thank you. I'll be back, Patrice.
Thank you for your contribution as usual. The talk around town reads this email. The talk around town last week, rather, was the rude and disrespectful manner the Speaker in the House invariably treat Dr. Harris as though he is nobody and his presence is irrelevant in the Parliament. Well, I'm not surprised at her obnoxious behavior, because let us not forget that at her inauguration as Speaker at the Marriott, she boasted that the former Speaker Curtis Martin was her mentor, who gave her very sound advice as to how she should conduct the business of Parliament. She showered overwhelming praises on Martin for the instructions she received and promised she will not abide by it. She will abide by it, beg your pardon. Well, we all are fully cognizant how biased, one-sided, rude, and disrespectful Speaker Martin ran the House. He was very kind and respectful to the then Labour Douglas government. And on the flip side, he purposely disdained all opposition members. He particularly treated Sam Conde with scorn, calling him all kind of disturbing and shameful names. So I don't expect the Madam Speaker to deviate from the rude teachings of Curtis Martin, but she should have some pride of herself. Read this email. Good night, Mr. Liburd. Read this other email. Thank you for keeping us informed of what's going on in the Federation. It is my hope that something positive will happen in the near future for our people under Dr. July. I know this is late, but has anyone told the slow student Jeffrey Hanley and the rest of the Labour Party that Labour Day is for labourers and not for the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party to celebrate without the rest of the country? It's beginning to feel like they have hijacked the country. Please keep on doing what you do. There are those of us, beg your pardon, who strongly appreciate you. Be blessed, Mr. Liburd. Thank you for that commendation. The so-called Labour Day March was such an embarrassment that many Labourites are calling for the Labour Party ministers and the government as a whole to keep out the trade union Labour Day March. Others are campaigning to have the Labour Union name changed, while sensible people are saying a bird called by any other name is still a bird. Reads that email, my Straight Talk family. This other message reads, my Straight Talk family. Patches, this government is a bunch of hard-headed Harry and a set of ignorant people. Reads this email. I heard the son of Satan said in Parliament that his government has passed the most laws since they had taken government. Is that what all his government cares about, passing laws? How about passing the PAP? This government threw thousands of families off the PAP, and now these poor people have sunk deeper into poverty, and his heartless government increased their own salaries by thousands of dollars. Passing laws is not the solution. The root of the problem is poverty. Poverty is a crime, and poverty causes crime. This government is so stupid. Reads this email, my Straight Talk family. Let me take this other email again. Callers, bear with me a moment. The spokesman and physiologist on the unofficial government radio station like to use logical fallacies, half-truths, and partial reasoning to try and fool people, and when that doesn't work, they turn to mockery and sarcasm. When people are placed in brackets with little to no formal education and little to no options, we can't expect ideal reasoning. It's helter-skelter. Living for now by any means is the reality. And for those who escape the dreadful situation, let no one fool us. They receive support one way or another, directly or indirectly. When we lose our men and boys, Mr. Straight Talk, we lose everything. They leave behind broken people, broken sons, and weakened structures. Like termite-infested boards, our society may look wholesome, but it's rotting on the inside. Contrary to the belief of some, our boys and men are not harming themselves. I remember time when it's not even a thought on a hot night's sleep with the doors and windows open. Now look around. Burglar bars are a must, and one window forgotten open triggers a panic attack. Prisoners in our own home and country, reads that other email, my Straight Dog family. And it's 9:35, my Straight Dog family. If you have just joined me, I welcome you to this edition of Straight Talk. Now, tonight our thesis we looked at, my Straight Talk family, no amnesty for this gang in government. And we examine what's happening around us, my Straight Dog family. And we asked the question pretty early, as was asked by a big labor man, I must say. We asked the question pretty early, why is all this crime, or all of a sudden, all this crime in St. Kitts and Nevis? It was the question asked by Model Cop.
You know what is disturbing? I hate to say it, but why all of a sudden now under Labour this shooting thing start up again? The peace is still on. So what is causing this? That's a question only those involved can answer.
Yes, it's a relevant question. Why all of a sudden this shooting just rise up, to use a colloquial term, under this government? And as we reflected, my Straight Dog family, on the dismantle everything policy of this government, my Straight Dog family, we reflect on how this government clearly disregarded the concept of this administration, I should say, clearly discarded the concept of government being continuous. And my Straight Talk family, as I mentioned earlier, I read an article about Harriet Truman. I'm trying to remember where I read it, but I can't at the moment. But the article informed us that Harriet Truman assumed the presidency of the United States of America in the final months of World War II. So he inherited a worldwide catastrophe, but he shouldered the burden of leadership in what was considered then a rudderless world. And he shouldered the burden of leadership with courage, integrity, and humility. He vindicated the American conviction that an open society can produce leaders equal to any challenge. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, after 2 years of a coronavirus-induced pandemic, which brought the entire world to a virtual halt. Remember, we were locked down. addressed. And my straight talk family, even after 2 years, there is a deep division still in our federation. And the main culprits are the gang of self-declared experts, my straight dog family, that came into government with a dismantle everything policy. You promise to modify the PAP, the Poverty Alleviation Program, but in fact he dismantled the PAP. And that's the results of some of the things that are happening right now. At 20 before 10 o'clock, I go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Patrick, I'm back. Now, when politicians swear in, you know, they just say, so help me God.
So help me God, yes.
Well, these marble pitching, top spinning, slow bomb fishing, Mickey Mouse government, they should say, no, kill me God. Because I swear with the Bible, and as soon as they don't put on the Bible, they go and go tell lies to the country. Because I remember one of them say that the $500 wasn't enough and he gonna increase it to 15. Well, he reduced it to less than 15 by not giving nobody. So that's a big lie. And this is so help me God. Now the other thing again, they're calling the farm administration, what they call them, thieves. Well, who are more thieves than anybody who taking pay for a work that was given to them to do and haven't done it, but they collect the money? When they're pointing one finger at an organization, 3 pointing them back at them, 3 pointing the back at them, and the Bible tell you plain out, let it go in match up to this morning. Oliver Big Green and Ray the Lighthouse. He quoted it, but I know it in my head. Matthew 7:5. Let it go read that. Let it go read that, and then they would do different. But is next month is June, and the 10th of June is coming up, and that is when they tell a big lie that Mickey Mouse name party that is in government house. Remember, they keep telling a big lie, reminding people about the biggest lie they ever tell in this country, accusing the former PAM founders them that they went go overthrow in 10th of June 1967. Well, if that was so, your enemies are going to shoot up in the air at your house top. Your enemies coming at you if they want to overthrow you. So that was a big lie. So the anniversary is coming up for them to go back with the propaganda, and you're going to hear them, especially one-sided record who cannot give Harris what deserved to him. Everything out of his mouth is Harris company here with the foolishness. All them things that the melody does be saying. Let it abuse me, me could take word. I represent St. Kitts all over the place. So me accustomed to word. Patches, you used to come see me up there throwing dust coming on the park because I had the whole of St. Kitts on my shoulder, and I still got them on my shoulder when it comes to anything that could save the country. But anybody oppose people who try to give advice how to save the country, they are worse than the Mickey Mouse gang. Patow Pow, this morning in my village where I born, and they said they got amnesty. Amnesty? When some of them who got their gun and they license it by December 31st of every year, that gun becomes an illegal gun. So we want to know for those who keep their gun for a whole year and they license it, if they're going to have amnesty with that. I'll come back, Patrick. Thank you so long.
Thank you very much. My Straight Talk family, the question was asked about this sudden rise in crime. But lest we forget that thousands of people were left out by July when he claimed he was going to modify the PAP. And his modification of the PAP meant that over 4,000 beneficiaries of that program were no longer on the PAP. Remember that the slow student told us that when he got into office, there were 7,000. He said this.
When the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party won the general elections on August 5th, 2022, there were 7,469 payees receiving either regular PAP or PAP as expanded for COVID. The monetary value for each was $3,480,000, payable to 6,960 regular PAP beneficiaries and $254,500 to PAP as expanded for COVID 509 beneficiaries. This totaled a grand payout of $3,734,500.
And my Stray Dog family, the PAP ended in December. Had to reapply. And this is what he said happened, my Stray Dog family, after the reapplication process. The slow student said this.
We had close to 1,200 applications, 12,000 applications for the PAP initiative. The Ministry of Social Development, the entire team is doing the verification process right now, checking with all of the agencies, including Social Security, making sure that the Social Security numbers are correct, the information that persons shared are accurate. We are hoping that we can restart by the end of this month after certain verification would have taken place, of course.
So 12,000. Although there's a slight variance in the figures announced by the permanent secretary. She said this.
We paid 5,361 households are receiving PAP at this time. Remember, when we closed applications in December, 11,639 applied. Of that number, 8,985 were eligible. All right? And so that now, if you take 5,361 from that number, it's over 60% of the applications are being paid. I know for some persons being in the 40%, to them it's unfair.
It's not unfair. It is criminal. Criminal to say the least, my Stray Dog family. But there is an economic stench, I call it. It smells like sulfur in the air. It is blowing in on the wind. It is becoming overwhelming. It smells so bad. Bad enough. And it makes you stop to think. What is that? I can hear you ask, my Stray Dog family. It's the economy, I can hear someone say. And it smells stink. Remember, he abandoned a shovel-ready project, my Stray Dog family. He abandoned a shovel-ready project. And construction is dead. Let's go back to the lines at 9:49. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, my buddy Patches. How are you going?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I see you're troubling big young fellas in the house, man. That's my buddies, you know, man. That's part of my gang, man.
You're part of the gang too.
Yeah, we're not handing in our weapons, though, you know.
No. Well, you know, it's. You know, I almost wanted to ask that question. You know, one has to think 1,000 times with all that shooting going on to give up my gun. It's a tough ask, don't you think?
No, with all the shooting you can get, there's no time to give up your gun. You give up your gun when there's peace.
Yes, it's peace, yes.
Anyhow, I'm just thinking about something. Over 4,000 persons have been taken off the PAP. At $500 a month, that was working out to about what, $2 million a month that they save in there. But I don't think it's a saving, that $2 million. That $2 million that they moved from the poor people was put to different use. That $2 million gone into their pocket with the big increases, plus the massive number of advisors that they have around them, along with some other expenditure, private expenditure here and there. Think about that. So, as far as their budget is concerned, it hasn't changed. But it's the poor people. 4,000 poor people have sacrificed to make life better for the new ministers and the advisors and a few other friends and family. Think about it. Have a good night.
Have a good night as well, my dear brother. Yes, it's some food for thought, because if you look at the Ministry of National Security, for example, they have 5 advisors: Astona Brown, Fishy Percival, Commander Wallace, this gentleman from New York, I think he's from Powell. And then you have the National Security Advisor, Lionel Wusi Rollins. So those are 5 advisors, all told, from or attached to the Ministry of National Security. So that's very interesting, my Straight Dog family. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good evening, everybody out there in Radio Land, and good evening, Servant Ian Patrick Liburd. How are you doing this evening?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Well, I am still ecstatic from the boon, the water boon that was received last week from a caring, persistent, Dr. Drew-led Labour government. And I suppose that every member of the K-On community, of which you are a part to, I would remind you, is rejoicing or should be. Unfortunately, though, some of them are not, because in their warped minds, the wrong party is getting the credit. But I want to speak very briefly, and I will be minded by brevity.
Please.
Everything in this world is perspective. And you should know that better than anything else, being the consummate politician that you are. There was a man with a dog, and he threw his stick out in the ocean, and the dog ran on the water to get the stick. He said, "This is a miracle. My dog is running on the water." He did it again, and with the exact same result. The dog ran on the water. He said, "This is indeed a miracle." So he went and got one of his friends. He did the same thing. The dog ran on the water, and upon seeing it, the friend burst out saying, "Oh my God, I gotta go and call everybody. This is the first dog I have ever seen that couldn't swim." Everything Servant Ian Patrick Liburd is about perspective. And as you spoke tonight, I tuned in very, very late, but just a little earlier today, or was it yesterday, I heard somebody come on and commend the government for putting up a whopping amount of money. You must have heard about that chap who went over there and dove into the water and injured his neck. And coming from the Prime Minister's office's funds, he was so grateful for the help that he received. And secondly, I thought about the sharing of the CBI proceeds.
I thought you were going to be guided by the rules of brevity. And
well, I just started and I'm out of time.
Well, like I said, I normally give you, like everybody else, 2 minutes. So I don't want you to come with a thesis. I am the one who presents the thesis. But before you go, though, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to wrap. But before you go, I want you to tell me if you're familiar with this Pastor Penn.
In any time or climb, come to St. Kitts and enjoy us because our love is all encompassing and it is just for you.
Right. Where are you from?
I'm from Denmark.
Fenway?
Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah. From US?
Texas, yes. Did you
nice
tell by the accent?
Yeah, I could tell.
I didn't see him do anything bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was a pastor anyway.
Didn't know either.
I didn't.
But he just got really mad at me because I said I believe in Jesus, but I don't need to pay anyone because I believe in Jesus.
Who come up with this thing about you have to pay? Who come up with that? It's a trick. You know it's a trick.
I know it's a trick.
I didn't know he was a preacher.
My name is Evangelist Penn.
Biggest trick in the book. I gotta pay to love the God.
Yeah.
No, man. I gotta pay to talk to God. I don't even believe in Jesus because you keep using Jesus to scam everybody. So I believe in God, not Jesus.
Yeah, man. Good to meet you.
Yeah, man.
Have a nice day, man.
Well, good luck, buddy.
Thanks, bro.
When you travel, you'll meet a lot of good people.
Having a great time here.
But unfortunately, sometimes you will meet bad people too who will try to get money out of you. This guy is the scammer guy of St. Kitts. Avoid him at all costs.
I thought you were hold on to respond to the question. I wanted to ask our caller if he was familiar with Evangelist Penn, because I just came across this video about Evangelist Penn. And Evangelist Penn met this tourist, and he said this.
We love unlike anybody in any place, in any time or climb, come to St. Kitts and enjoy us because our love is all encompassing and it is just for you.
Right. Where are you from?
I'm from Denmark.
Fenway?
Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah. From US?
Texas, yes. Did you
nice
tell by the accent?
Yeah, I could tell.
I didn't see him do anything bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was a pastor anyway.
Didn't know either.
I didn't.
But he just got really mad at me because I said I believe in Jesus, but I don't need to pay anyone because I believe in Jesus.
Who come up with this thing about you have to pay? Who come up with that? It's a trick. You know it's a trick.
I know it's a trick.
I didn't know he was a preacher.
My name is Evangelist Penn.
Biggest trick in the book. I gotta pay to love the God.
Yeah.
No, man. I gotta pay to talk to God. I don't even believe in Jesus because you keep using Jesus to scam everybody. So I believe in God, not Jesus.
Yeah, man. Good to meet you.
Yeah, man.
Have a nice day, man.
Well, good luck, buddy.
Thanks, bro.
When you travel, you'll meet a lot of good people.
Having a great time here.
But unfortunately, sometimes you will meet bad people too who will try to get money out of you. This guy is the scammer guy of St. Kitts. Avoid him at all costs.
I thought my dear friend would tell us about the Evangelist Penn, but he probably didn't hold on. It's now 1 minute before the 10 o'clock hour, my Straight Dog family. And I was speaking about the economy. And as I said, the economy smells stink. The economy, there's a stench. The economy is bad. And this gang in government abandoned, my Straight Dog family. They abandoned a shovel-ready project, my Straight Dog family. The Bastille High School project. They abandoned. And many contractors are still hurting till today.
There was a shovel-ready project, which is the Bastille High School. The project had already, the plans had already been done. The impact studies had already done. But you choose to shelf it. Today, the ordinary man, construction workers, instead of having the tools rusting, could have been there working. People could have been earning money at the Bastille High School. And why it was shut down? Because of politics. It had nothing to do with the water situation. So we got to be careful. It's politics why the country is stagnant. As a matter of fact, since the change of government, I am involved in construction. I haven't worked for the year. The country is stagnant, actually maybe in reverse. It ain't got nothing to do with the farm administration. It is, I think, it's because of incompetence why we are facing the situation that we are facing.
Yes, my Straight Dog family. The construction industry, I mentioned earlier, plays a significant role in any economy as it contributes to the overall development and economic growth of a country. It serves as a major pillar of the economy, generating employment opportunities for those, for many, I should say, regardless of their skill, whether educated and or uneducated. Construction infrastructure is considered a powerful engine of economic growth and development, as it serves as a capital input into production and wealth generation. The construction industry has a direct impact on the social and economic development of a country, as it creates investment opportunities in related sectors and contributes to achieving national, social, and economic goals. Effective management of the construction sector leads to improved quality of life, sustainable environment, I should say, and job creation, thereby promoting economic growth, my Straight Dog family. And that was the hallmark of a team unity administration growth. Patches, I want everyone to remember, read this email, what Garth Lucifer Wilkins said when he was trying to justify the government's increase in salary. He said in order for the ministers not to become corrupt or involved in crimes, they must be paid well. Listen here, Lucifer Wilkins. You and your worthless, selfish government took away every assistance that the poor people were getting. Is any surprise that crime has increased since the government took office, my Straight Dog family? According to you, Lucifer Wilkins, the government ministers must be paid more money so they could take care of themselves and pay their bills. Does that go for the poor and needy in this country? Also, don't they have to find money to pay their bills and to buy food to eat, just like you and this bunch of vagabonds running this country? The answers to the crime situation in this country is staring you all in the face, but all of them are too dumb to realize. Read this email. Patches Dr. Drew Advisor Appleton was on the Issues program on Tuesday with Jamie. He was talking about the Prime Minister's medical fund, among other things. But I would like to deal with this so-called medical fund. There were some questions that came in on Facebook, and Jamie read one of them. Someone asked if it's a government initiative or it's personal to Dr. Drew, how it was funded, and if there was any oversight of it. Appleton said that the question was political. What could be political about people wanting to know about how things are run in this country? Anyway, this was Appleton's response to the question. He said the medical fund is personal to the Prime Minister. It's not a government run. He said it's funded by the proceeds of the Prime Minister's gala and fundraising. Then Jamie asks Appleton how many persons have benefited so far. Appleton said he didn't know. That's what he said on Tuesday. Now today, Appleton hosted the show. And what he said on Tuesday was far different from what he said today. Appleton said today that the Prime Minister's medical fund is supported by private donors, fundraising, and the social assistance program. I want to know how is a program that is privately run, be funded by taxpayers' money, and can't ask questions. Why is this Prime Minister setting up these private stuff out of his office? Let's not forget about the water buckets and the millions one person got. It's like the same thing is happening with the so-called medical fund. Another way of giving more of his friends millions. This Prime Minister's office needs investigating, reads this email. Patches, this government thinks that this knee-jerk action towards crime is the answer. These people in government claims that they are all experts, but can't get anything fixed. All that they met when they came into government was working, but they decided to mash it up. And now they can't get anything to work. The peace program, the PAP program, all this government good for is to fill up their pockets and increase their salaries, with this other email. The ANC of South Africa perhaps had a noble start, but over the many years of governance, arrogance, entitlement, and corruption set in. Today, corruption continues to suck the country dry of development. If we are not careful and allow this government to serve more than one term, we will be stuck in a similar cesspool, reads this other email. How can you call the peace program a criminal enterprise, but yet you refuse to get a true copy of the members' government and proper address? You still have Major Sutton, Miss Williams, and Naima Hazel are the only ones in control of the full operation. When others came to you to help Naima, Naima put them on the back burner and said all she wanted to take over the peace. Major Sutton was part of the team you have on your team. So how is it different? Reads this email. Good night, Patches. The lady Speaker of the House must remember we the people of constituency number 7 will not stand by and allow her to disrespect the former Prime Minister. Just a thought for you to ponder. The harder you come, the harder you will fall. Reads this email. And I'll take this, my final email. Patches, I wish that Len Harris can sue this government, especially Dr. Drew. Every time the crime starts up, they're trying to distract the country, talking about the Development Bank and the peace program, saying that the bank was corrupted with the peace program. Patches, please send a message to Dr. Drew that it is 2 years now and he's still calling Len Harris's name, but he don't have any solution to the peace. Patches, it is embracing to hear that loudspeaker going around telling persons to bring in their guns. Patches, this government has no solutions to the increase in crime. Patches, they do not care about our young men. About a lot of these young men voted for Labour. They did not know that they were voting for their death. This uncaring government destroyed the peace with their own selfishness and greed, the same millions of dollars that Len Harris and Team Unity was giving to those guys for peace, they have took for themselves and are living the life while our young sons, brothers, uncles, fathers, grandfathers are being gunned down like dogs. Reads that email. And my Straight Talk family, I have dispensed of my emails, and as I wrap, and I'm not certain if my overseas lines were down tonight. I hope not. I didn't check it. Not been active. But my Straight Dog family, for those who joined me late, our thesis, as mentioned earlier, as intimated earlier, no amnesty for this gang in government. And while in opposition, my Straight Dog family, the political gang in government ridiculed the new cruise pier until we saw the world's largest ship icon of the seas alongside. They haven't come to grips with the fact that this project has stimulated so many economic benefits in the country, my Straight Dog family, so many economic benefits in the country. And businesses unheard of before. This political gang now in government is benefiting from the second cruise pier. Though while in opposition, they peddle all sorts of propaganda. But the people who matter, my Straight Dog family, like the cruise line operators and the cruise ship captains, are the ones who use the berth and have had some glowing remarks about the new cruise pier.
Hi, so you're the captain of the which
Celebrity
vessel?
Summit.
Celebrity Summit. Now, your ship is one of two ships that are the first to dock at our second cruise pier. How do you feel coming to St. Kitts to such a warm welcome?
It is very nice. The new pier is very wide, and it is much better actually than the previous one. And it's a very nice construction. And for us, from the marine side of view, you have enough fenders, enough bollards, nice and safe, with much better angle against the wind also. So congratulations, this is amazing.
And yes, my Straight Dog family, the people who matter most are the ones that welcome the pier. It is still clear to all of us, though, that a united group is necessary. The economy, inflation, crime, and hopeless people cannot put food on their table, cannot buy gasoline or pay their rent, my Straight Dog family. And I ask the question, if your daughter or son, if you have a daughter or a son, I should say, and you don't feed him or her, what do you think they would do, my Straight Dog family? But crime has taken its root once again under this Labour government. July promised that there would be a twist in the management of crime. He said this.
With respect to the recent increase in that short period of crime, that is not really a trend, that the forces are really putting things together. But we'll see a change in the leadership of the police with a different twist, positively, of how we wish to do things.
Well, you saw a change. You saw a twist, as he said. You saw a change in the leadership in the police. And all hell seemed to have broken loose. Things have been turned upside down in the entire security landscape. 13 murders to date for 2024. All told, 52 murders under Terence Michael July. So what's his reaction? Friday gone, the Crime Minister tabled the Firearms Amendment Bill 2024. It will become law once gazetted. 40 years and $500,000 if you're found with a gun. But my straight dog family, the young boys in our country have gone astray because our education system has failed them. And I conclude my thesis tonight, my straight dog family. And I reflected on my mood this morning after listening to the Prime Minister's wrap-up of the Firearms Amendment Bill 2024. But I was worried. I was worried when he spoke to the peace program. And these were the words of the Prime Minister, my straight dog family. Saddening, I believe. I think we'll all will say the same thing. The Prime Minister said this about the peace program.
So we launched the Elevate program because under the corrupt criminal enterprise called the Peace Program was a criminal enterprise endorsed, sponsored by the administration led by the member from number 7. The Peace Program was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state. You had what you call a management review board and an initial engagement team come talking about peace program. This was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state, Madam Speaker.
And I'm going to end my street dog family with a call just for 2 of the members who were on this management board, what Joe is calling a criminal enterprise. 2 pastors. Pastor Eric Maynard Jr. of Nevis and Pastor Lincoln Connor of St. Kitts. I don't know Pastor Maynard, but I know Pastor Lincoln Connor well enough to know that he is not a criminal and would not be part of any criminal enterprise. So I'm asking Lincoln Connor, always so assertive, you must have heard July. So I anticipate that you will stand up and publicly rebuke July and let the country know if when you were part of the peace program, Pastor Connor, was it a criminal enterprise? That's a fair question because he said this, my straight dog family.
So we launched the Elevate program because under the corrupt criminal enterprise called the Peace Program was a criminal enterprise endorsed, sponsored by the administration led by the member from number 7. The Peace Program was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state. You had what you call a management review board and an initial engagement team come talking about peace program. This was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state, Madam Speaker.
Were you part of this criminal enterprise, Pastor Lincoln? That's a question I'm asking from this platform tonight. So until we hear from you, if we ever do, we want to rebuke this crime minister. Harsh and inhumane laws like the Firearms Amendment Bill would not stop crime. This bill was rammed through Parliament in a day. 40 years, $500 million. 3 people shot. The following of the same day. Balang robbed. I hope you have recovered, my brother. Another victim shot last night. And another one today. They promised to make things better, my Straight Dog family. But nothing has changed except the name of the program. Payment was not stopped. How much money has been paid to subsidize the peace program since August the 6th, 2022? That's a question you must answer, Terence Michael July. Be transparent. Let us know how much money was spent on the peace program since your watch. How much money was spent on Elevate is a question we ask. And I must commend, as I said earlier, Perspective Media, who summed it up well for us, my Straight Dog family. Very, very well in this video.
The politician them direct need to step in and do something, because I can remember they bash the peace, the campaign and the peace. I won't even use the word bash, but the campaign and the peace said they're gonna make it better. You understand? But nobody may know about nobody, but we ain't see nothing happening. You feel what I'm saying? We ain't see nothing at all happening.
So you feel like the peace program was basically a good solution towards the problem?
Most definitely. And anybody in saying it say otherwise, why? I don't know.
But what about those who would say the peace program gives some people an opportunity to sit down, do nothing and get paid?
And we gotta say to them, it's alright to say something. You know what I mean? It's alright to say something, but when you're gonna see a positive movement, if you ain't got nothing positive to add to that movement, you might as well just stay quiet, you feel me? Yeah, and that's all I will say.
And finally, my Straight Talk family, I'll leave you with this email. It has just come to hand. Dear Patches, I'm writing to bring your attention to a matter of significant concern regarding Dr. Drew's handling of the forensic report. It has come to my attention that Dr. Drew has been selectively sharing excerpts from the forensic report, which raises serious questions about transparency and accountability. By withholding crucial information, Dr. Drew is undermining the public's ability to fully comprehend the findings and draw their own conclusions. His condescending approach suggests a lack of trust in the public's intelligence and casts doubt on the integrity of the democratic process. The people have a right to access the complete report and form their own opinions without being spoon-fed information. I urge you to intervene and encourage Dr. Drew to release the entire report promptly. Transparency is essential for maintaining public trust, and any attempts to control the narrative only serve to damage the credibility of our institution. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I trust that you will take the necessary steps to ensure transparency and accountability will prevail. And that's the way we're going to end it, my Straight Dog family. Like we started, we will end. No amnesty for this gang in government. And that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation Tonight, and as always, I want to thank you, the many listeners, those of you on social media. I want to thank the emailers and the ones who call. Please be reminded that you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I am Ian Patches Liburd, and God's spare, God's willing, we will connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until that time, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. We will connect on Thursday. Take that back. Monday is a holiday. We take a break on Monday. Yes, we do. We will connect next Thursday. Until that time, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. And remember, my Straight Talk family, whatever your mind conceives, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday. Keep moving on.
And praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food